Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to check out Internet Computer's price chart and see what is going on in the short term. And before that, we are going to talk about a very important tweet from Dominic Williams. But at the beginning, I would like to talk about this comment that said, note, this guy is being paid by ICP directly to shield their coin. Keep that in mind with all these regular sudden ICP posts. Well, here's the situation. If you are a regular viewer, you know that I have been doing ICP updates. I think it's like for more than a year now, and I'm here to tell you I am absolutely not being paid by ICP, and you can actually see the evidence here. Why? Two very important reasons. Number one, you are not going to get paid by ICP people and at the same time in your channel talk about some other projects. That is simply not a thing. And number two, if you want to get sponsored by a project, you should not talk about what is going on in terms of technical analysis because, well, okay, here's a simple example for you. Let's say I'm getting paid by ICP and they tell me to talk constantly bullish. Then, okay, in that case, if I want to do technical analysis, I should only say good things, and at any given moment, I am only allowed to be 100% bullish and call for a massive move up in the short term, right? Well, in the short term, I'm actually quite bearish in ICP, and I'm going to tell you in a bit why. And the point is, I have been doing bullish and also bearish ICP videos in terms of TA. So again, I don't really think I'm gonna be necessarily sponsor friendly. And here is my final point. You see, if you want to get sponsored, that's absolutely fine. You have to mention it in your video because I'm not really sure what country are you living, but in my country, if I don't talk about my sponsors in my content, I am going to get in serious trouble. So no, I'm not getting paid by ICP, guys. If I was, okay, no problem at all. I would have told you in every single update. I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that, but the truth is I am absolutely not getting paid by them. So with all that aside, now let's talk about this very important tweet from Dominic Williams, which is basically a ranking tweet, and he called out platforms that ICP needs to beat when it comes to building secure, sovereign, production-ready applications through chat. And at the top of his list is what? Lovable. And I think it is safe to say that it is absolutely the benchmark in here. And Caffeine, well, it is going to be the challenger stepping into the ring. So let's break it down real quick and talk about what each platform actually is, what it offers, how are they quite different, and why this all matters a little bit. So are you ready? Let's start with what they are. And Caffeine AI is like having, for example, a dev team that lives inside a chat box, and you type what you want, add user login, connects Bitcoin, whatever you need, and Caffeine updates your live app, not a mockup, a real running application on chain forever. On the other hand, Lovable is more like a vibe-based prototyping tool. You drag stuff around, tweak some UI, maybe even hook it up to Supabase, and you got a slick demo, which is great, it's fast, it's beautiful, and it is also good for showing off ideas. But here is where things get kind of interesting, because now we are going to talk about these two platforms' differences. Number one, we have to talk about hosting and sovereignty, because Caffeine does not do cloud hosting. It is deploying your application as a smart contract on ICP, and that means no AWS, no centralized cloud server, none of that. Your app lives on chain, publicly auditable, and basically immortal. On the other hand, Lovable, it's actually classic cloud, meaning you build your application, Lovable hosted on AWS or something else, and your backend is probably going to be Supabase, and it works great, but you want to know that you are completely tied to their stack. If they go down, you will also go down as well. The second important difference comes down to live updates and production readiness. You see, Caffeine lets you update your application while it's running. No downtime, no redeploys, you just chat with it and it handles the state migration behind the scenes for you. On the other hand, Lovable gives you a front end and a basic back end. But if you want to change something, well, okay, you are going to be back in the code, and you have to make edits, push commits, and then redeploy. And it's fine for demos, great, but not necessarily ideal for applications that need to evolve really, really fast. The third difference comes down to workflow and developer experience. You see, with Caffeine, the chat is your IDE. You say what you want and it builds it for you. In this case, you don't even touch any code unless if you want to yourself, that's absolutely fine. And Caffeine is even able to handle trickier stuff like, for example, upgrading state safety. On the other hand, Lovable is more visual. You are able to drag and drop, export code, and tweak things manually. It is definitely good for quick UI flows, but maybe not built for deep ongoing development through conversation. Now, I got two more very much important differences between Caffeine and Lovable, and the first one comes down to the tech stack and flexibility. Caffeine runs on Motoko 2.0, which is a language built for smart contracts. It is memory safe, upgradable, and designed for artificial intelligence generated code. Plus, it is also cross-chain by default thanks to ICP's chain key crypto, and it is able to talk to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and much, much more than that. Lovable, well, it actually sticks to good old React and TypeScript, which is absolutely solid for front-end work, but if your backend needs to go a little bit beyond than SQL or Supabase, you are going to be in a spot of trouble. And the last but definitely the not least important difference is security and data integrity. Caffeine stores every single thing in tamper-proof canisters. Your data is fully decentralized, sovereign, and resistant to outages or censorship. On the other hand, Lovable uses standard cloud security, and it's fine, but if AWS sneezes, your application is going to catch a bad cold, and migrations, they are going to be your problem, unfortunately. So now that we have talked about how Caffeine stacks up against Lovable, let's talk about why some developers might actually want to switch over. And the first important reason I think is going to be hosting. You see, with Caffeine, your application doesn't sit on some rented server in a data center you have never ever seen. It lives on chain, like literally deployed as a smart contract on internet computer. And that means no AWS outages, no, for example, your account has been suspended stupidity, none of that. Your app is completely sovereign. The second important reason, you know how most applications need separate environments? You got development, staging, and production, and a whole CI/CD pipeline to push updates. Well, Caffeine skips all that. You just chat with it and say, for example, I don't know, maybe add a payment button or connect to Ethereum, and it is able to update your live application. No downtime, no rollback nightmare, none of that. The state is going to stay absolutely intact. Another very important reason for why some developers may want to switch to Caffeine comes down to the language itself, Motoko 2.0. You see, most AI generated codes are kind of sketchy. It works until it doesn't, but Caffeine AI uses Motoko 2.0, which is a language specifically designed for smart contracts and AI-driven development. It is able to handle memory safety, upgrade logic, and runtime errors way better than generic LLM codes. Another very important reason comes down to cross-chain communications, because if you need your application to talk to, for example, Bitcoin or Ethereum, normally that means messing with a whole lot of stupid bridges, wallets, and a bunch of security risks. On the other hand, Caffeine is able to skip all that thanks to ICP's chain key cryptography. In this scenario, your application is able to interact with other chains natively without exposing their private keys or even relying on third-party bridges. It is going to be very much clean, absolutely secure, and it is all built in. Another reason for why I think some developers may want to switch to Caffeine comes down to the data being absolutely tamper-proof. You see, if you are building something serious, for example, like a CRM, or maybe ERP or anything with sensitive data, you need auditability. You need to know that once something is stored, it cannot simply be quietly changed or deleted. Now, Caffeine's canister storage in here is absolutely immutable. And that means what? Every single write is going to be permanent, traceable, and compliant. No shady edits, no oops, we lost your data. None of those. So, as a conclusion for this part, I think there are probably 5 very important reasons for why a lot of people may want to switch to Caffeine AI from other platforms. Number 1, you are probably tired of building throwaway prototypes. You want applications that grow and evolve in real time. Reason number 2, you do not trust big tech to host your stuff forever. Number 3, you got complex logic, like for example, multi-user dashboards, workflows, or even financial systems, and you need live state migration that do not break every single thing. Reason number 4, you care about compliance, audit trails, and data integrity. And reason number 5, which is quite important, is maybe because you are done with traditional dev workflows. You want to build through chat, no IDE, no DevOps, just you and artificial intelligence. Simple as that. And those, my friends, are the things that Caffeine AI is able to offer to you. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, because let's be honest, you can build the most sovereign, secure AI-powered platform in the world, but pay attention, this is the key moment of today's update. If it's going to cost way too much, people are not going to touch that. That's just reality. Adoption doesn't really come from hype. It actually comes from, you know it, affordability. Take, for example, Lovable. You see, if you are running a basic website, nothing crazy, just let's say a clean front end with a super base backend, you are looking, I think, at about $50 per month, which adds up to about, I believe, $600 per year. And for a solo developer or a small startup, that may not really be, unfortunately, pocket change, especially if you are testing ideas or iterating really fast. Now, here is where Caffeine AI has a shot to flip the whole game. If it is able to offer the same or maybe even hopefully better functionality with on-chain hosting, live updates, and sovereign data at a lower cost, this is very important. In my view, it is going to be an absolutely disruptive force, because all of a sudden you are not choosing between features. No, you are choosing between, number 1, paying $600 per year for a cloud-based prototype, and number 2, paying hopefully quite a bit less for a production-grade sovereign application that evolves in real time. And that, my friends, is not going to be a hard decision at all. So if Caffeine nails this pricing model, whether for example it's going to be through compute credits, canister optimization, or even potentially and not necessarily hopefully subsidized onboarding, we are going to see a massive wave of adoption, not just from crypto native developers, but hopefully also from regular builders who are tired of cloud login and broken workflows. And this will be, I promise you, extremely bullish for the token. Why is that? Because the more people that are going to use the network, the more ICP burned tokens are we going to have as a result of cycles getting burned. And well, that means what? Probably I'm gonna say a deflationary environment, and I'm not going to say it is going to, for example, cause a supply shock. I think we are like far away from that. But let's be honest, what are the things that we care about if we want to buy a project or even a stock in a stock market? Number 1, it's fundamentals, which if this is going to happen, well, okay, I think we can all safely assume that ICP is going to be a massive success. So great fundamentals there. And number 2, you pay attention to what is going on in terms of technical analysis. And well, at least I can tell you in my field of works, which is Elliott Waves, we are looking fantastic, because in the mid to long term, what do we have in here? I think probably off of the lowest low around $2.5, 5 wave up into a larger degree wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2, and what's next? A strong move up into wave 3, 4, 5. So by the end of this cycle, I'm going to argue we are probably going to see a good wave of price appreciation. However, having said all that, this is one very important reason for why ICP is not going to sponsor me. I actually think in the short term we are probably headed lower. Why is that? If you remember, the last time that we talked about internet computer, we were, I think, around these areas, and the idea was that, look, this phase on the upside doesn't necessarily seem like an impulse, so I'm gonna say we are probably having a correction in here, maybe in form of an ABC, and as a result of that, after this phase is over, we are going to see another move down in order to take this low, and then all eyes on this important low. If we take it at that point, our move down is going to continue a little bit more, and so far at least we haven't done that. Now, if you insist on being bullish in ICP, okay, you know what? I absolutely respect your opinion. In fact, here is a quick point for you. You see, it seems like that in terms of classic patterns, I'm not really sure if you like them, but if you do, it seems like that in most altcoins, we are forming a beautiful head and shoulder structure. However, in most of them, it is not confirmed that we are having this head and shoulder, since we haven't really gotten a solid break of the neckline yet. If we do this at the same time in a lot of alts, at that point, I'm gonna argue you are probably going to see in most altcoins about between, let's say, 10 to 20% move up, and I think ICP is not going to be an exception, because you definitely can say this is a head and shoulder structure right in here, but again, it's not really confirmed yet. You need to wait and see an initial move above the line, followed by a pullback, which we are having it right now, but then a continuation of the move up in order to take this important high. If we do this, fair enough, this can be an optimistic sign suggesting our move up is going to continue to where, okay, you have to, first things first, put your chart on regular scale and then measure the height of your pattern from here to about this point and put this thing at your breaking point. This is giving you about like a $5.3 ICP, which is definitely not that bad. However, based on what I'm seeing, at least right now, I'm going to say, you know what, you need to be a bit patient, because even if we get a move up, we may not necessarily look optimistic, and this whole phase might be just a correction structure, and after it's over, you may see another move on the downside. Now, here's a question. What needs to happen for me to really flip bullish? You probably know what I'm about to say. In terms of Elios waves, if you want to say that we're gonna have our final low around here, then okay, you have to be able to find off of the lowest low in this region a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave on the upside. And so far, if I really want to push my luck, I can tell you, look, this is 5 wave up, maybe let's say some sort of a diagonal into a wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2, and I have to see an acceleration of this move up into wave 3, and then a very slow and choppy pullback into wave 4, followed by another move up into wave 5. And if in this space we especially manage to get back above the higher band of this important level around $5.8, you know what, fair enough, that can be like a really good sign, which is going to make me say maybe I should change my primary scenario to the bullish one in like very short term. Like, do not get me wrong, in the mid to long term, like I said it earlier, I am absolutely bullish. However, for now, at least in like very short term, I'm not really seeing enough signs to be optimistic and call for some huge upward price action starting from the current point. My primary scenario is still going to be, due to the lack of some good signs, the bearish one, suggesting any kind of move up is probably going to be a correction, and after it's over, what are we going to have? Unfortunately, a move down. But don't worry, overall, on the grand scheme of things, these are all part of the bullish process, and I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in internet computers charts. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.